So the inevitable has finally happened. A Trump supporter was detained by ICE because he was assumed to be an illegal immigrant, and now he's claiming his faith in Donald Trump has been shaken. Okay, are you really a Trump supporter? Are you really MAGA if Trump can't like kill your entire family and you're still not loyal? If you stop being loyal after Trump does something wrong to you, do you really love Donald Trump? You know what I mean? Like, let's just tell the truth. Let's watch this clip because supporters of Trump are still convinced there's some sort of honor and careful consideration that goes on in this whole attempt to get rid of the illegals.
The man we spoke with is a U.S. citizen. He provided us with documentation of his legal status. He says this experience has shaken his faith in the immigration enforcement efforts of President Donald Trump, for whom he voted, he says. This is what Yenzi Machado managed to record on his phone Wednesday. He says while he was driving to work with two other men, he was stopped by ICE agents on Lamont Drive in Manassas, a short distance from his home. He says he was confused by what was happening, why agents surrounded the pickup truck. He spoke with our sister station, Telemundo 44 reporter Rosbelis Quinones, who was the first to report his story.
And they just got out of the car with the guns in the hands and say, turn off the car, give me the keys, open the window. And, everything was really fast.
Machado says the agents said the name of a man they were seeking for a deportation order, someone who had given Machado's home address. He said that was not his name, and he did not know anyone by that name. He offered to show them this, his Real ID compliant Virginia driver's license. It has a star in the upper right corner and requires proof of lawful status.
They didn't ask me for any ID. I was telling the officer if I can give him the ID, but he said that just keep my hands up, not moving. And then after that, he told me to get out of the car, and then he put the handcuffs on me. And then he went to me and said, how did I get into this country? And if I was waiting for court or if I have any case. And I told him I was an American citizen. And he looked at his other partner like, smiling, like saying, can you believe this guy? Because he asked the other guy, do you believe him?
What was this guy actually expecting? It gets to a point where you have to ask the question, how much of Trump supporters' actual perception of Trump is based on this constructed view of him they create in their own mind? It's all a fantasy. He's only going after the criminals. No, don't you realize and understand, being an undocumented immigrant is a crime in and of itself because you're here illegally. Furthermore, this guy seems to not realize this is just step one. Okay, this whole thing of like, we're going to get rid of the illegals, it's just step one. The goal is to limit legal and illegal immigration and to denaturalize people who are citizens. They don't just want to get rid of illegal immigrants. They want to get rid of all immigrants who are non-white. That is the goal here. And Trump supporters convince themselves. They contort and twist themselves in every which direction in order to make themselves believe that I'm the special one. I'm a good Trump supporter. I obey. And he would never, ever do something like that to me. And if it were to happen, it's because he didn't know it was happening. And if he did know it was happening, I just have to stand before him, get on my knees and bow, and then he'll see the light. This is the way they think. This is the way Trump supporters actually perceive reality. And it's unbelievably ironic that he sits there and is like, oh, I'm a citizen, This is just step one. This is just step one. The entire goal is to stop people like him from coming in point blank, period. It's not to stop criminals from coming in. It's to stop brown people from coming in. It blows my mind that Trump supporters who are Hispanic sit there and support Trump, not realizing they're tired of seeing people who look like you. It's not that they're tired of criminals coming in. They're tired of brown people coming in. And I don't know what it's going to take for these people to realize that. Maybe Trump really is going to have to round up hundreds of thousands of people and just ball in, send them all the way to Guantanamo Bay in order for them to realize this nigga's serious about all the stuff he's saying. But like, realize and understand that this is the movement at its core. It is a movement of delusional people who truly, truly, truly live in their own separate reality, constructed by not just Donald Trump, but themselves. And they won't get it until the consequences of this folly befalls us all. When we're all going down to hell, then MAGA will wake up, and they will, of course, predictably shift responsibility from themselves onto Donald Trump. But this is the nature of the movement. It is a movement that seeks to ruin the lives of everyone else. This absolutely delusional perception that, well, it's just going to be those people. It won't be me. It would never be me. No, it's going to be you. It's gonna be you. Have y'all seen these people on social media writing like, dear Lord and Savior Trump, I hate to bother you with such a miscellaneous and annoying message, but, I've been fired from my job, and I just wanted to let you know I love everything you're doing. I love it all. But I've been fired. Could you just, fix that real quick and then leave everyone? Basically, what they're saying is leave everyone else unemployed, but just rehire me. Who thinks like that? Seriously, who thinks like that? That's not a normal way of viewing the world. That's not a normal way of viewing society. And it's not a normal way of viewing your fellow Americans. It is a sick and twisted, childish, cult-like way of interacting with the world around you. Oh, Mr. Trump, I'm a good worker. I get the job done. I do what I'm supposed to do. But the rest of them, I like what you did with them. What makes you think in any way, shape, or form you're special? You're a nameless, faceless number on a piece of paper, just like everyone else who got fired. You think they're checking? It's unbelievably obvious after all the errors and mistakes that were being made by Elon Musk and Trump with all these firings of all these people. They don't know what they're doing. They're firing people who maintain nuclear weapons and then scrambling to try to rehire them. They're firing people who oversee Alzheimer's research and then scrambling to rehire them. Trump needs those people, by the way. He's about to be in the shit in the next few years. Donald Trump is in no way, shape, or form a trustworthy president for legal or illegal immigrants in any way, shape, or form. These people are, all they see is what they want to see. They don't understand the cultural implications of what the MAGA movement actually stands for. It does not stand for a law and order movement. No, law and order until we need something done that's illegal. Like, I don't know, stealing an election or beating cops over the head with flags. Law and order until it's time for us to get our hands dirty. Then we're doing what's right? He who saves his nation breaks no law. These people have no actual understanding of the cultural implications that the MAGA movement represents. It does not represent a movement of stop letting in the illegals. That's code for please get these people up out of here. Legal, illegal, we're tired of seeing them. That is what this movement stands for. That is exactly what this movement stands for. And do you think this dude in this video is going to all of a sudden have an epiphany and wake up and realize he did something wrong? Absolutely not. Donald Trump could bust into this dude's crib, wipe out his whole bloodline, do the Dougie over all their dead bodies, and he'll still sit there the next election cycle. He'll contemplate it. Trump's a tough guy. He'll be sitting there wondering, contemplating, thinking about maybe voting for Donnie once again. That's how sick and twisted this movement actually is. Donald Trump can destroy everything in his wake. Donald Trump can so obviously be a problem. It's not enough. Donald Trump could probably even ruin their lives directly by firing them, and they still sit there and really pretend as though the rest of the world is crazy when we say Trump is the problem. They'll be fired by him. He could wipe out their entire bloodline. He could destroy the entire country. And they think we're pretending and overreacting and being histrionic when we say, yo, this nigga's a problem. You can't save these people. You can't save these fucking people. They're like drones, dude. They're like cattle. They just, and any which direction Trump directs them, they just go. It's like he's using a fucking controller, and it's working. It's working. Talking about I'm a citizen. Dude, they wish they could deport you. They really do. They wish they fucking could. They really wish they could deport this guy. He doesn't even sound like he's from the States. He sounds like he moved here halfway through his life, and I've got no problem with that. But I am sick and tired of the Democrats sticking our necks out for these people and losing votes. We stick our necks out for people who are immigrating legally and illegally, and we lose. We take losses at the polls for these people, only for shitloads of them to vote for Trump because they think if they pull the ladder up behind them, they're benefiting themselves. And no, you're trapping yourself. That ladder could have been your escape, but in reality, you're trapped. In reality, you are now trapped with a political movement of people who fucking hate you and are trying to find a way to get rid of you. The first step is to stop the influx, to stop the flow, both illegal and legal. Then the next step is to demonize your presence. I don't know if these people heard this shit. This nigga talks about they're poisoning the blood of our country. Dude, these people hate the fact that you are here. But they're never gonna listen to me. They're never gonna listen to me. They're never going to listen to a white liberal. They don't listen to their fellow Hispanics who voted for Harris. They won't listen. It's going to take this nation collapsing for these people to realize something is wrong. And I've said many, many fucking times before, they are never, ever going to take accountability. They will blame Trump and Musk, but these people were the ones who made it possible. Somebody play Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp. Trump never would have made it if it weren't for you. And it's about time we actually acknowledge that fact. Voters want to run away from accountability, whether it's the ones who decided not to vote because they were upset about Gaza, or the ones who really were crazy and delusional enough to cast their vote for Trump and now sit here bewildered at the destruction that we already knew was going to happen. Whatever. This guy does not deserve your sympathy. This is what he voted for. This is what he accomplished. This is all. He should be happy, frankly. He should be happy. We need to point shit like this out and frankly just laugh. Just laugh, because that's what it deserves. It deserves a laugh.